These are the 5 worst mistakes you can make as a new writer. And be sure to stick around for number 5 because it is one of the most important mistakes that people are not facing in their early writing career. Number 1 is not reading enough. You are not reading enough in the genre that you are trying to write in. And that's really crucial that you actually do that, because when you're writing, you understand the tropes, the cliches, what works, what doesn't work within your genre. Of course, you as a writer can be unique and have your own special takes and the special things that you do. But really, when it comes to writing itself, you need to understand what other people are doing to find out what works and what doesn't work. And like I said, of course, you need to make sure you find out what works for you personally as a writer. But overall, people have certain expectations when going into a story, whether it's horror, fantasy, cyberpunk, whatever it may be. People have expectations, and whether you subvert or use those to your advantage, it is something that is really important. Number 2 is not planning enough. Even if you are a pantser, someone who just flies by the seat of their pants and writes just whatever comes to your mind in the moment, you still need to plan some things out. You do need to do some world building. You do need to plan out the characters' names, or at least where you want the character to go. For me, I always think having an ending in mind is one of the most important things. That way you kind of know where the story's going, and then you can fill in things in the middle. But really, just planning a bit more than you would think is really important. Of course, we all want to get to the writing part, but make sure you spend time just thinking about the story. And even if you are just coming with stuff up on the spot, thinking about scenes and where you can incorporate them into your story and just taking notes, super, super helpful. Number 3, not making healthy habits. If you are not consistent with your writing, it's not going to come very good to you, and it's not going to come very easily. If you really want to improve and just go above and beyond, and each story you write, each chapter, each new page you write is better than the last, or at least you're consistently seeing growth, you really need to build healthy writing habits of scheduling your time and at least doing something every day. If you are working on your story a little bit every single day, even if it's just one sentence, you will see improvements and you will feel the satisfaction of completing that thing. Even if it is on the weekend of when you don't have time or whatever, or you're just really just taking a break, write one sentence. And that will really help you build your habits of doing it every single day. That's why something like NaNoWriMo is really important, because you don't have to hit the 50,000 words. Really, it's just about teaching you how to work every single day on your book. Number 4 is not reading your work aloud. If you write the things that you're writing and you do not read it aloud, I think you'll be surprised at how weird it could actually sound. When you go and read your story to somebody else and you stop in the middle and say, oh, that wasn't how it was supposed to sound, or oh, that actually sounds kind of weird, that can be really embarrassing and feel really uncomfortable. And so what you should do is, when you're finished with a chapter or before you're about to show somebody your short story, just read through it a couple times and touch up some of those kind of weirder sounding sentences. This is something that I do a lot, because in the moment, I'm really having a great time writing. I'm not really thinking about it. I'm just in that flow state. But in reality, the things I write can sound kind of weird. And of course, that's why we have editors. But you need to self-edit as well. But only do that after you've finished writing whatever you're writing. That way you don't spend forever just self-editing, because you could spend forever self-editing. There's always ways to improve your writing. And of course, step number 5 is not seeking feedback. Feedback is one of the most important things to your writing. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it is just there to say, hey, maybe you could use this word instead. Or, that didn't really hit like I think you wanted it to. Try this, or maybe just try a different way of writing it. Seeking feedback is the most important thing for new writers, because they don't really know what they're doing wrong or what they're doing right. And if you're meeting with a writing group and they're not giving you both good and bad feedback of like, hey, you're doing this good, or hey, you could improve this, you are not in a good writing group. What you really need to do is just write your best, write your chapter, whatever, and then bring it to your writing group and see what they think. And really just be like, hey, what do you guys think? What's good? what's bad. I like using the compliment sandwich or Oreo, whatever you want to call it, where you say a good thing, something they could improve on, and then another good thing. That way, in their mind, they are really seeing the positives, but also being like, okay, yeah, I do understand there are things I could improve. And that's why feedback is so important, because early on in your career, you don't know what you're doing wrong or if there's a different way to do it. And if somebody's too afraid to give you that constructive criticism, well, they could be a good cheerleader, but that's not going to help you improve. And that's why this is so important, because you really want to be improving with every story, with every time you sit down to write. You want to be trying to do your best. And you're not going to do that every time, but that's okay. It's all about improving. It is a journey. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I would really appreciate if you liked this video, if you subscribe to my channel, and if you comment what tip was your favorite, or just what you think is a common mistake that a lot of writers have to deal with early on in their career, and how they could fix that. Thank you so much. If you want to support my writing career here and see all the work that I'm doing in the background, and also join my Discord server, go ahead and go to my Patreon down below and subscribe to that. It's only $5 a month, and you get lots of really cool perks and tips. And thank you so much for watching. I've been getting a lot of new attention and subscribers this past month, and I really appreciate that. I'm really excited to grow and to be able to share this stuff with you guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day.